You think you understand what humans are capable of. You don't. Somewhere in Turkey, an entire city was carved 18 stories beneath the earth, by hand. In Yemen, families built homes on cliffs so steep, one wrong step meant death. In China, farmers reshaped entire mountains, not with machines, but with generations of bare hands and sheer will. No cranes, no blueprints, no modern technology. Yet these places still stand, still breathe, still defy every assumption we have about the ancient world. Beneath the volcanic landscape of Cappadocia lies a hidden world carved deep into the earth. These underground cities began forming as early as the Bronze Age and were later expanded by ancient Anatolian communities seeking protection. Using simple hand tools, entire populations carved tunnels, chambers, and shafts directly into the soft rock. The cities were built for long periods of survival, with spaces for food storage, water access, and carefully planned ventilation systems. Heavy circular stone doors were designed to seal corridors from the inside, showing advanced knowledge of defense. Many of these cities were rediscovered only in modern times, revealing their immense scale and complexity. Scientists still question how such vast underground networks were planned and constructed without modern technology. Cappadocia remains a powerful reminder of human ingenuity hidden beneath the surface of the earth. High above a narrow valley in western Yemen, the stone village of Hyde al Jazzil appears to cling to the edge of emptiness. It is believed to have been established centuries ago by local communities who sought protection and isolation in the mountains. Builders shaped homes directly into the cliff face, stacking stone structures vertically where the land offered almost no flat ground. Every wall and foundation was placed by hand, balanced carefully against gravity and the natural rock. The village layout reflects both survival and strategy, with its height offering defense and control over the surrounding landscape. Over time, erosion and earthquakes threatened its stability, yet the settlement endured for generations. Scientists and historians continue to study how these structures remained standing despite their precarious position. Hyde al Jazzil stands as a striking example of human courage and engineering at the very edge of the void. Along the steep coastline of southern Italy, Positano rises from the rock like a structure grown rather than built. The settlement began to take shape during early medieval times, as coastal communities adapted to the harsh terrain for protection and trade. With limited space, builders layered homes upward along the cliff, anchoring stone walls into the mountainside. Every terrace and stairway was carved to follow the natural slope, turning the cliff itself into part of the architecture. Constructed without modern machinery, the village required generations of careful planning and constant reinforcement. Over centuries, Positano expanded vertically, forming a dense network of paths, arches, and foundations. Researchers continue to examine how such a fragile landscape supports centuries-old structures without collapse. Positano remains a living example of how human design can transform a sheer cliff into a thriving settlement. High in the mountains of southern China, the Longji Rice Terraces unfold like steps carved into the earth itself. Construction began over 6 centuries ago, shaped by local communities who transformed steep slopes into fertile land. Without modern tools, farmers cut, leveled, and reinforced the mountainsides using stone, soil, and water alone. Each terrace was designed to follow the natural curves of the terrain, preventing erosion and conserving rainfall. An intricate irrigation system channels water from forest springs at the mountain peaks down through every level. The scale of labor required generations of continuous effort and precise cooperation. Scientists still study how the terraces maintain stability and productivity despite heavy rains and shifting soil. Longji stands as a monumental example of how human hands reshaped entire mountains to work in harmony with nature. High above a dramatic gorge in southern Spain, Ronda stands divided by a deep chasm carved by time. The settlement traces its origins back to ancient civilizations, with major development occurring during Roman and later Moorish rule. Builders were forced to construct directly along the edges of the gorge, anchoring stone structures into sheer rock walls. Bridges were carved and assembled to connect the divided town, demanding precise engineering and immense labor. Without modern tools, workers shaped stone under extreme conditions, suspended above the void. The gorge itself served as natural defense, influencing how the town expanded and survived. Today, scientists and engineers study Ronda's structures to understand how they have endured erosion and seismic stress. Ronda remains a striking example of a town shaped as much by the Earth's fracture as by human determination. On the remote cliffs of the Faroe Islands, Ghassadalur sits at the edge of land and sea, shaped by isolation. The village is believed to have been settled in medieval times by Norse communities drawn to its sheltered valley. Surrounded by steep mountains and harsh weather, builders worked with stone and turf to anchor homes against relentless winds. Every structure was positioned to endure storms, erosion, and the constant pressure of the Atlantic. For centuries, access to the village was limited, forcing residents to rely on careful planning and local resources. The landscape itself dictated where and how buildings could stand. Scientists and historians continue to study how such a small settlement survived in extreme conditions for so long. Ghassadalur remains a powerful example of human endurance at the very edge of the world. Perched atop tough cliffs in southern Tuscany, Pitigliano rises like a city grown from the stone itself. Its origins trace back to the Etruscans, who first carved dwellings, tunnels, and tombs into the soft volcanic rock centuries ago. Over generations, inhabitants expanded the settlement, hollowing out homes, streets, and aqueducts directly from the cliffs. The architecture blends seamlessly with the terrain, with buildings, arches, and stairways emerging naturally from the stone. Constructing such a city required careful planning and immense manual labor, as every chamber and corridor had to be carved by hand. Pitigliano's rock foundations have endured earthquakes and erosion, baffling engineers with their stability and precision. Historians continue to study how the city balanced habitability, defense, and aesthetics on such a fragile base. Pitigliano stands as a testament to human ingenuity, where civilization itself seems to have sprouted from the earth. Nestled in the Rif Mountains of northern Morocco, Chefchaouen is a city that seems to have been painted by the sky itself. Founded in the 15th century as a small fortress town, it served as a refuge for exiles and those seeking safety from conflict. Builders shaped homes and streets to follow the steep, winding slopes, creating a labyrinth of alleys and terraces. Over time, the city became famous for its striking blue walls, applied by generations of residents in a tradition both practical and symbolic. The color helped repel insects and regulate temperature while giving the town a serene, otherworldly appearance. Despite limited tools and rugged terrain, the structures have endured for centuries, demonstrating careful planning and craftsmanship. Scientists and historians remain fascinated by how such a cohesive and visually stunning city emerged in a remote, mountainous setting. Chefchaouen stands as a living canvas, where human design and natural landscape merge into a timeless vision of color and form. On the windswept shores of Socotra Island, villages rise amid a landscape unlike any other on Earth. Settled centuries ago by seafaring communities, these villages were built to survive in isolation, surrounded by jagged mountains and arid plains. Homes were constructed from local stone and palm wood, carefully arranged to withstand harsh monsoon winds and scarce rainfall. The island's alien flora, including dragon blood trees and twisted succulents, shaped both the architecture and the way people lived. Clinging to the rugged Ligurian coastline, Vernazza appears as though the sea itself carved its streets and homes. The village traces its origins back to medieval times, established by fishermen and traders seeking shelter along the Mediterranean. Builders shaped houses and narrow alleys to follow the natural contours of the cliffs, creating terraces that descend directly to the harbor. Every stone wall and foundation was placed with care to withstand waves, erosion, and seasonal storms. The interplay between land and water dictated the town's layout, forcing ingenuity in construction and resource management. Generations labored to reinforce the cliffs and harbor, ensuring the village endured both nature's force and human demands. Today, Vernazza fascinates scientists and historians for its resilience and the seamless way architecture adapts to extreme terrain. Here, the sea and human hands have worked together over centuries to shape a village that seems born from the waves themselves. From underground cities to cliffside villages, these places reveal human ingenuity that defies time. If you're fascinated by these wonders, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to explore more incredible and mysterious places with World Mist.